Welcome to Redeye. Today we'll get to know the company Wyld Networks a bit better. And with me I have the CEO, Alastair Williamson. Welcome, Alastair.
Thank you, Jessica. Nice to be here.
So, Alastair, can you start off with giving us a brief introduction to Wyld Networks and also how come you're listed in Stockholm?
Yeah, absolutely. So Wyld Networks was formed in Cambridge in the UK in 2016. And then about 18 months ago, we moved our legal entity into Sweden and formed Wyld Networks AB, and then obviously listed the company on the NASDAQ First North. You know, our reason for listing on the NASDAQ First North is very, very simple. The NASDAQ has a fantastic brand name, and we wanted to be associated to that brand name.
Thank you. So let's start off with diving into the market of satellite connectivity. How big is this market and what are the market drivers and how big do you estimate that your addressable market is?
Yeah, absolutely. So to just explain what we actually do. So we're a virtual satellite IoT operator. So we utilize low Earth orbiting satellites to allow our customers to collect data from anywhere in the world. And this solves a big problem, whereas today, customers only have the ability to collect data from about 15% of the world's surface, and we offer them the ability to collect data anywhere in the world. But to the market, we envisage the market to be about $5.9 billion in 2025. And that's starting now. And we estimate that we can address a market of about $670 million by 2025, giving us an 11% market share.
Let's talk about the product for a bit. You have two products, the Wyld Connect and Wyld Fusion. Could you explain to the viewers what those are, those different products, and how they work together?
Yeah, absolutely. So Wyld Connect is a product that connects to IoT sensors on the ground, and it sends the data to the low Earth orbiting satellites. The low Earth orbiting satellites send the data down to Wyld Fusion, and Wyld Fusion is a software platform that collects the data and provisions the devices and provides the data to our customers.
Okay. Could you explain one or two use cases for our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we look at agriculture, you know, the population is set to explode by another 2 billion people in the next 30 years, and we can't even feed ourselves today. And another fact, 30% of the waste of water globally comes from agriculture. So in agriculture, companies are deploying sensors to measure the water moisture content in soil so they can reduce the waste of water and increase the yield of crop. However, as you know, agriculture has very little access to the internet. So using our solution allows farmers and growers to collect data to increase their yield of crop and reduce their waste of water. That's just one example of a use case. In the energy sector, where we're working with large oil and gas companies, they want to measure corrosion on pipelines. And all of those pipelines are in areas where there's no access to the internet. So they use our solution to collect that data to provide maintenance to ensure those pipes don't leak oil or leak gas.
And that leads us into the business model. Could you elaborate on the two different revenue streams and coming from the products and how you see these revenue streams evolving going forward?
No, absolutely. It's as I say, we've got two revenue streams. We have the revenue stream from Wyld Connect, which is the hardware module. That's a one-off fee, and we're selling that product for about $40 per unit. And we've already collected orders for about 92,000 units so far. Then there's the other revenue stream, which is the revenue stream that our customers pay us for using the network. And that is up to $5 per month per device. So that's where we get our reoccurring revenues. So we're very similar to a mobile operator where you pay one fee for a piece of hardware, and then every month you pay to use the network.
And I think many of our viewers are keen to know when you will become profitable, and also if you have any insights that you can share with us on financial targets.
Yeah, absolutely. So our plan is to be profitable in 2024. What you'll see is the hardware revenues, the Wyld Connect revenues grow quite fast at the start of the launch of the service, and then we'll start to see the data revenues, that's the monthly fee, actually overtaking the hardware revenues, and that should happen in about 2024. And in respect to financial predictions, I would suggest that our viewers go and have a look at the Redeye report, because obviously you've put forward financial projections for the company.
Okay, that's an excellent suggestion, by the way. So you're right now in pre-launch phase, and you have said that you will launch your products by the end of this year commercially. And you have access to one satellite right now. How many satellites do you need access to, and how will you enable this before launching?
No, absolutely. So at the moment, actually, we now have today access to 2 satellites, and our plan is to launch the commercial service this year, and we will have access to 4 satellites at the launch period.
So lastly, Alastair, what is your key message to current investors and to potential investors? Why should they invest into Wyld Networks?
I think number one, we're solving a real world problem here. Currently today, companies can collect data from about 15% of the world's surface. And we're offering a solution that allows companies to collect data anywhere in the world using low Earth orbiting satellites. So we are solving real world problems. Secondly, it's a growing market. We've always, we've talked about $5.9 billion as being the total addressable market, but we're looking at a market that we can address of about $670 million by 2025. Thirdly, we've secured patents and we've secured trademarks. I think lastly, it's very important to communicate to the viewers that ahead of launching the network, which will be this year, we're actually building a substantial order backlog, and we have orders for about 30 million kroner to date, and that's just for the hardware. Those orders will increase as we move to the launch, and then we'll start to also get the orders for the data, and that's where the reoccurring revenue comes in.
Thank you so much, Alastair, and best of luck in the future.
That's fantastic, Jessica. Great to speak to you.